Dred Scott is more than 48.5 acres of sports fields. To human rights advocate Frank White, it's a namesake worth remembering.
The Dred Scott case, I think, shows a perseverance by a gentleman and his wife that were African American, and that if you work hard and you persevere, eventually you can accomplish things. And for him, obviously, it was him and his family's freedom.
May 26, 2013 marked the 156th anniversary of Dred Scott's freedom. To pay tribute, Jefferson High School played host to a living history presentation where a judicial panel shared stories and answered questions, and Minnesota Historical Society actors illustrated the long and difficult journey Dred and his wife Harriet endured during one of the country's darkest times.
Dred and Harriet Scott's legacy is similar to that of so many who struggled for human rights over the years. If it weren't for Dred and Harriet Scott, we don't know what would have happened with respect to the Civil War, with respect to the Emancipation Proclamation and the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. They were a primary motivating force and went through struggles that I don't think we can even imagine today.
White felt an urge to do more to spread the word of Dred and Harriet Scott, starting with the Bloomington park that shares his name. White approached the City Human Rights Commission and Parks and Recreation Division, who originally put forward the dedication of the park in 1971.
There isn't anything here that really says who Dred Scott is or the memory of that case.
What started as a quest for an interpretive plaque at the park turned into something bigger, a celebration open to all, held at Bloomington Civic Plaza on May 22, 2013. The event, organized to honor and educate residents about this amazing couple, was the catalyst behind a very special guest with a unique connection to the couple making an appearance that night.
Dred and Harriet Scott are my great-great-grandparents.
Lynn spoke that evening about Dred and Harriet's backgrounds, how they met, and their wedding. And since this was her first visit to Minnesota, she felt compelled to see Fort Snelling, the place her family was enslaved for many years.
Just to be able to see where they lived and to go where they suffered in some regards, because it's cold up here, and I'm sure that was difficult for them. But I have wanted to come for a long time, so I'm very excited about it.
Historians estimate that throughout the 1820s and 1830s, anywhere from 15 to 30 enslaved African Americans lived at Fort Snelling at any one time. It's estimated that Dred and Harriet Scott lived there from 1836 to 1840.
Even though Minnesota is a free territory, commissioned officers at Fort Snelling had slaves and servants, and they were provided a stipend for them. Dred and Harriet Scott were slaves there. Interestingly, when they sued for their freedom in St. Louis, part of the basis for their suit was that they had been held as slaves in a free territory, and therefore they were emancipated.
Today, honoring and educating ourselves about the name behind this park is the least we can do. In July of 2013, these plaques were installed at 4 different locations at Dred Scott Playfield, so residents passing through, watching a ball game, or simply curious about the Playfield's namesake can learn more about the couple who set the stage for equality and change in the United States.